1889, Pine Hollow, Dakota Territory. Rosa Fletcher stood at the front of the one-room schoolhouse and watched her savings jar sit empty on the desk. The ticket east cost $42. She had 37. The gold strike 2 months back had pulled families apart and dragged desperate men into the canyon. And now, half her students were gone. Their fathers chasing rumors of ore veins that played out after a week. The school board had cut her pay. Again, she pressed her palm to the desk and told herself she would not cry. Not here. Not where the remaining children could see. The door crashed open. Silas Fletcher, her uncle, stumbled in with his hat in his hands and his face gray.
What happened?
She moved toward him.
I lost the claim, Rosa.
He said it flat.
Kendrick Whitmore called in the loan. I got nothing left. He says I owe him $300 by week's end, or he takes the cabin.
300. Uncle Silas, that is robbery.
It is what I signed.
He looked at the floor.
He offered a way out. He says if you marry Clay Hendricks, the bounty hunter, the debt is paid. Hendricks agreed. He needs a wife. Whitmore arranged it.
Rosa felt the room tilt.
You sold me.
I am trying to save us both. Hendricks is a decent man. He will not hurt you.
I do not care if he is decent. I am not property.
She turned away and gripped the edge of the blackboard. Her hands shook.
Rosa, please.
She did not answer. She heard him leave. She stood there until the sun moved and the room grew dim. Then she walked to the boarding house, packed her single trunk, and carried it to the church. Reverend Carver met her at the door. He told her the wedding was set for Sunday. She told him she would rather take the stage out tonight. He said the stage did not run until Monday, and Whitmore owned the tickets anyway. She sat on the church steps until dark. Clay Hendricks found her there. He was tall, lean, sun-browned, with a black hat pushed back and a grin that did not reach his eyes. He crouched in front of her.
Miss Fletcher, I heard what Silas did. I want you to know I did not ask for this. Whitmore came to me with the deal. I said yes because I thought it would help your uncle. I did not know he had not asked you first.
She looked at him.
So you are backing out?
No.
He said it quiet.
I gave my word. But I am not treating you like a bargain. You want to leave after the vows. I will give you the money for the ticket myself. You want to stay. We figure it out together. Your choice.
She stared at him.
Why would you do that?
Because I know what it is like to have no choices.
He stood and tipped his hat.
Sunday, Miss Fletcher. Think it over.
He walked away. She sat on the steps until the stars came out. Sunday morning arrived hot and windless. The church was half empty. Rosa wore a borrowed dress the color of cream and carried no flowers. Clay stood at the altar in a clean shirt and his best vest. Reverend Carver rushed through the vows. When it was done, Clay took her hand and led her outside. Silas tried to hug her. She stepped past him. Clay walked her to the cabin he rented at the edge of camp. It was small, 2 rooms with a stove and a table and a bed in the corner. He set her trunk down.
I will sleep outside. You take the bed.
This is your cabin.
It is ours now. I am not touching you, unless you ask.
He said it flat. She believed him. She unpacked her things. He brought water from the well and made coffee. They sat at the table and did not speak. That night, she lay in the bed and listened to him settle on the porch. She did not sleep. The next morning, she walked to the schoolhouse. The board had dismissed her. A note on the door said married women did not teach. She went to the general store. The clerk told her Whitmore had put a hold on credit for the Hendricks account until Clay caught the outlaw he was tracking. She walked back to the cabin and found Clay cleaning his guns.
Whitmore is blocking everything.
I know.
He did not look up.
He wants me to bring in a man named Garrett. $500 bounty. I ride out tomorrow.
How long?
2 weeks, if I am lucky.
She sat across from him.
What if I come with you?
No.
I can shoot. My father taught me.
It is not about shooting. It is about sleeping on the ground and riding until your bones ache and not knowing if you will eat. I am not dragging you through that.
I am not asking permission.
She stood.
I am going.
He looked at her for a long moment. Then he nodded.
All right, but you follow my lead.
They left before dawn. The trail wound through scrub and rock. Clay rode ahead. Rosa followed. He did not talk much. On the third day, they reached a settlement called Ridgeback. Clay asked questions in the saloon. A man told him Garrett had been seen near the old mill. They rode out at sunset. The mill sat on a dry creek bed, half collapsed. Clay dismounted and pulled his rifle.
Stay with the horses.
Rosa ignored him and followed. Inside the mill, the floor was rotted through. Clay moved quiet. A board creaked behind them. Rosa spun. A man stepped out of the shadows with a gun.
Drop it, Hendricks.
Clay froze. The man was thin, bearded, with wild eyes.
You are. Garrett.
The man laughed.
You are slower than they said.
He swung the gun toward Rosa. Clay lunged. The gun went off. The bullet tore through the wall. Clay slammed Garrett into the floor. They fought hard. Rosa grabbed a piece of timber and swung it at Garrett's head. He dropped. Clay tied him.
I told you to stay with the horses.
And I told you, I can help.
He looked at her. Then he grinned.
You hit him hard.
He deserved it.
They brought Garrett back to Pine Hollow. Whitmore met them at the telegraph office. He counted out $500 and handed it to Clay.
Good work, Hendricks. Now take this and get out. I got another job for you.
Clay pocketed the money.
What job?
Whitmore smiled.
There is talk of fever in the North Camp. Someone needs to ride up and check. You and your wife go tomorrow.
Rosa felt a chill.
Fever.
Probably nothing. But folks are nervous. I need someone I trust.
Clay nodded. They left. That night, Rosa could not sleep. She sat on the porch. Clay came out and sat beside her.
You are worried.
Whitmore is lying. There is no fever. He wants us out of town.
Maybe.
He arranged our marriage. He controls the credit. He sends you on jobs. He is playing a game.
Then, we play back.
The next morning they rode north. The north camp was a cluster of tents and lean-tos near a played-out vein. When they arrived, the miners stared. An old man stepped forward.
You from Pine Hollow?
Clay nodded.
Whitmore sent us. Heard there was fever.
The old man spat.
Ain't no fever here. Who told you that?
The telegraph operator.
He is lying. We've been fine. But 2 weeks back, a rider came through and said Pine Hollow had typhoid. Said we should stay away. We ain't been down since.
Rosa and Clay looked at each other.
There is no typhoid in Pine Hollow.
Then, someone is spreading lies.
They rode back fast. When they reached town, it was nearly dark. The streets were empty. Clay tied the horses and knocked on the general store. The clerk opened the door a crack.
What is wrong?
The clerk looked pale.
Reverend Carver is dead. Fever took him yesterday. Whitmore says it is typhoid. He quarantined the church and the boarding house. No one goes in or out.
That is insane. There is no typhoid.
Tell that to the Reverend.
He shut the door. Rosa turned to Clay.
Whitmore is doing this.
We need proof.
They went to the church. The doors were nailed shut. A sign said quarantine. Clay pried the boards loose. Inside, the Reverend lay on a pew, covered with a blanket. Rosa knelt beside him. She pulled the blanket back. His face was gray, his lips blue.
This is not typhoid.
How do you know?
My mother was a nurse. Typhoid takes longer. This looks like poison.
Clay checked the Reverend's pockets. He found a scrap of paper. It was torn from a telegram. The words were smudged, but readable. Payment due. Deliver Sunday. Rosa took the paper.
Whitmore sent this.
Maybe. But we need more.
They searched the church. In the back room, Rosa found a quilt folded on a chair. It was old, hand-stitched. She unfolded it. A square near the corner had a note sewn into the backing. She tore the stitches. The note was written in pencil. It said, KW took my claim. Threatened my family. We'll pay him Sunday, or lose everything. Signed, JC.
JC. That is Joseph Carver. The Reverend.
Whitmore was squeezing him too.
Rosa folded the note.
We need to find out who else he is threatening.
They left the church and went to the boarding house. It was locked. Clay kicked the door open. Inside, 3 families huddled in the main room. A woman stood when she saw them.
You should not be here. Whitmore said fever.
There is no fever. The Reverend was poisoned. Whitmore is lying to control you.
The woman stared.
Why would he do that?
Because he wants your claims and your money. He is using fear to keep you here.
A man stepped forward.
My brother tried to leave last week. Whitmore said the stage was full. Then he charged him $50 for a seat. My brother could not pay. He is still here.
Rosa turned to Clay.
We need to get everyone out.
Not yet. If we move now, Whitmore will know we are onto him. We need proof. He is poisoning people and rigging the claims.
They slipped out. The streets were still empty. Clay led Rosa to the telegraph office. The window was dark. He picked the lock. Inside, the office smelled of ink and tobacco. Clay searched the desk. Rosa checked the files. She found a ledger. It listed names, dates, and payments. Every name was someone who had lost a claim or a cabin. Next to each name was a note. Paid. Relocated. Deceased. She showed Clay.
This is it. He is tracking everyone he squeezes.
And look at this.
She pointed to a column marked staged accidents.
He is not just threatening. He is killing.
Clay took the ledger.
We need to get this to the marshal in Deadwood.
A voice spoke behind them.
You are not going anywhere.
They turned. Whitmore stood in the doorway with a shotgun. His face was calm.
I knew you would figure it out eventually, Hendricks. I just hoped it would take longer.
Clay did not move.
You poisoned the Reverend.
Whitmore shrugged.
He was going to talk. I could not have that.
You are a murderer.
I am a businessman. This town was dying. I gave it purpose. I control the claims, the credit, the telegraph. I decide who stays and who goes. And now I decide what happens to you.
He raised the shotgun. Rosa grabbed the ledger and threw it at him. He fired. The shot went wide. Clay lunged. They crashed into the desk. The shotgun clattered to the floor. Rosa grabbed it. Whitmore punched Clay in the jaw. Clay staggered. Whitmore pulled a knife. Rosa cocked the shotgun.
Drop it.
Whitmore froze. He looked at her.
You will not shoot.
Try me.
He dropped the knife. Clay stood and wiped blood from his lip.
Tie him.
Rosa handed Clay the shotgun and found rope. She tied Whitmore's hands behind his back. Clay picked up the ledger.
We ride to Deadwood tonight.
They dragged Whitmore outside. The families from the boarding house came out. They saw Whitmore and understood.
He was lying. There is no fever. He poisoned Reverend Carver and threatened your claims. We got proof.
The crowd murmured. A man spat at Whitmore.
You took my cabin.
Whitmore said nothing. Clay loaded him onto a horse. Rosa mounted her mare. They rode out. The trail to Deadwood was rough. Whitmore did not speak. By dawn, they reached the marshal's office. Clay handed over the ledger and told the story. The marshal arrested Whitmore.
You two did good. Go home. I will send word when the trial is set.
They rode back to Pine Hollow. The town was waking up. Word had spread. People came out to thank them. Silas found Rosa and tried to apologize. She walked past him. Clay caught her arm.
Give him a chance.
He sold me.
He was desperate. People do terrible things when they are scared.
She pulled away.
I am not ready.
They went to the cabin. Rosa sat at the table. Clay made coffee. He set a cup in front of her.
You want to leave. I will give you the money.
I know,
She looked at him.
but I am not leaving.
Why?
Because I want to stay.
He stared at her.
Rosa.
I mean it. I was so angry when Silas told me. I thought you were just another man who saw me as property. But you did not. You gave me a choice. You treated me like a partner. You listened.
She stood.
I want to stay. With you.
He crossed to her.
I do not deserve you.
That is not your choice.
She reached up and touched his face. He kissed her. It was slow and careful. When they pulled apart, He rested his forehead against hers.
I have been wanting to do that since the wedding,
Why did you not?
because I was afraid you would run.
I am not running.
They spent the day fixing up the cabin. Rosa hung curtains. Clay repaired the porch. That evening they sat outside and watched the sunset. The town was quiet. 2 weeks later, the marshal sent word. Whitmore was convicted. The claims were returned. Silas got his cabin back. He came to Rosa and apologized again. This time, she hugged him. The school board asked her to return. She said, yes. Clay took a job as deputy marshal for Pine Hollow. They moved into a bigger cabin near the river. Months passed. Summer turned to fall. One evening in late September, Rosa came home and found Clay on the porch. He looked nervous.
I got something to tell you.
What?
I am not good with words, but I need you to know. I did not marry you because of the deal. I married you because the first time I saw you, sitting on those church steps, I thought you were the bravest person I ever met. And every day since, you prove it. I do not want this to be a bargain anymore. I want it to be real.
She smiled.
It already is real, Clay.
He stood and pulled her close.
Good. Because I love you.
I love you too.
They kissed. The sun set behind them. The river ran quiet. The town of Pine Hollow settled into evening. In early March, a letter arrived. It was from the territorial governor. He wanted Clay to track a gang operating near the Badlands. The job would take 2 months. Clay showed Rosa the letter.
I do not have to go.
Yes, you do. It is your job.
Come with me.
I cannot. School starts next week.
Then I am not going.
Clay,
She took his hand.
I will be here when you get back.
Promise.
Promise.
He left the next morning. Rosa stood on the porch and watched him ride away. The weeks dragged. She taught school. She fixed the cabin. She wrote letters. Clay wrote back when he could. His letters were short. He said the gang was smart. He said the trail was cold. He said he missed her. In late April, a telegram arrived. It said Clay was hurt, shot in the shoulder, stable, recovering in a town called Broken Bow. Rosa packed a bag and took the stage. The ride took 3 days. When she reached Broken Bow, she found Clay in a boarding house, propped up in bed with his arm in a sling. His face was pale. She sat beside him.
You got shot.
It is not bad.
It looks bad.
I have had worse.
She touched his face.
Do not do that again.
I will try.
She stayed with him. The doctor said he needed 2 more weeks before he could travel. Rosa did not leave his side. She read to him. She brought him food. She changed his bandages. One night he woke up shaking. She held him.
What is it?
I thought I was going to die, and all I could think was I did not tell you enough,
Tell me what?
that you are everything, that I do not want to spend a single day without you.
She kissed him.
Then, do not.
2 weeks later, they rode back to Pine Hollow together. The town had changed. A new church was going up. The boarding house had been repainted. Silas met them at the edge of town.
Welcome home.
Rosa hugged him.
How are you?
Better. I got the claim working again. Found a small vein. It is not much, but it is honest.
I am proud of you.
They went to the cabin. That night, Rosa and Clay sat by the fire. He pulled her close.
I got something to ask you.
What?
I know we are already married, but I want to do it right this time. Will you marry me again? For real?
She laughed.
We are already married for real.
I know, but I want to say the vows and mean every word. I want you to have a real wedding, with flowers and a dress, and everyone watching.
She kissed him.
Yes.
They set the date for June. The whole town came. Rosa wore a new dress, pale blue with lace at the collar. Clay wore his best suit. The new reverend spoke the vows. When it was done, Clay kissed her in front of everyone. The crowd cheered. They held a reception in the schoolhouse. There was food and music and dancing. Silas gave a speech. He said he was sorry for what he did and grateful Rosa forgave him. Rosa hugged him and told him it was over. That night, Rosa and Clay walked to the river. The stars were out. The water was low and clear. They sat on the bank.
I need to tell you something.
What?
When your uncle first offered the deal, I almost said no. I thought it was wrong. But then Whitmore told me about you. He said you were trying to leave. He said you were saving for a ticket east. And I thought, if I marry her, I can help her get out. I can give her the money, and she can go. I did not think you would stay.
Why did you not tell me?
Because I was scared. I thought if you knew I was just trying to help, you would think I pitied you. And I did not. I respected you. I still do.
She took his hand.
Clay.
I know I am not much. I am a bounty hunter with a bad shoulder and no land. But I love you. And I want to spend the rest of my life proving it.
You do not have to prove anything. I already know.
She leaned into him.
You gave me a choice when no one else would. You treated me like a partner. You listened. You fought beside me. You made me feel safe. That is everything.
I love you, Rosa.
I love you too.
They sat by the river until the moon rose. The town of Pine Hollow was quiet behind them. The water ran soft over the stones. Clay pulled Rosa close and kissed her. She kissed him back. The night was warm. The stars were bright. They had each other. That was enough. The next morning, Rosa woke early. She dressed and walked to the schoolhouse. The children were already waiting. She unlocked the door and let them in. They sat at their desks. Rosa stood at the front. She opened the primer. She began the lesson. The children listened. They recited their letters. They practiced their sums. Rosa moved between the rows. She corrected mistakes. She praised effort. At noon, she dismissed them for lunch. They ran outside. Rosa sat at her desk. She ate bread and cheese. She thought about Clay. She thought about the ledger. She thought about Whitmore. The children came back. The afternoon lesson began. Rosa taught them geography. She showed them a map. She pointed to Dakota Territory. She pointed to the east. She told them about cities. She told them about the ocean. The children asked questions. Rosa answered them. The sun moved across the sky. At 3 o'clock, she dismissed them. They left. Rosa swept the floor. She closed the windows. She locked the door. She walked back to the boarding house. Clay was waiting on the porch. He stood when he saw her. She climbed the steps.
I found something.
Rosa stopped.
What?
A bill of lading. Whitmore ordered twice the medicine the town needed. He sold half and kept the money.
Rosa felt her stomach turn.
Can you prove it?
The bill is signed. The supplier confirmed it. I sent a wire this morning.
Rosa nodded.
What do we do?
We take it to the mayor. We show the town.
Rosa looked at the street. She saw miners walking. She saw women carrying baskets. She saw children playing.
They will not believe us. They trust Whitmore.
Then, we make them believe.
Clay took her hand. Rosa squeezed it. They went inside. That evening they sat with the mayor. He was an old man. His name was Harlow. He had come to Pine Hollow in the early days. He had seen the town grow. He listened while Clay explained. He looked at the papers. He read the bill of lading. He read the wire from the supplier. He set the papers down. The mayor said they had enough to confront Whitmore. He said he would call a town meeting. He said it would be the next day. Clay and Rosa left. They walked back to the boarding house. Rosa felt nervous. She felt afraid. She knew Whitmore would fight. She knew he would not go quietly. Clay walked her to her door. He kissed her goodnight. She went inside. She lay in bed. She could not sleep. She thought about the meeting. She thought about what would happen. She prayed it would end well. The next day the town gathered. The meeting was held in the saloon. It was the largest building. The tables were pushed back. Chairs were arranged in rows. People filled the room. Rosa stood near the front with Clay. The mayor stood on the small stage. He called for quiet. The room settled. The mayor explained why they were there. He said there were accusations against Kendrick Whitmore. He said the evidence would be presented. Whitmore stood near the back. He looked calm. He looked confident. Clay stepped forward. He held up the ledger. He explained what he had found. He read the entries. He showed the discrepancies. He held up the bill of lading. He explained the double order. He held up the wire from the supplier. The room was silent. People looked at each other. They looked at Whitmore. Whitmore stepped forward. He raised his hands, but Whitmore said it was a mistake. He said the supplier was lying. He said Clay was a stranger. He said Rosa was a woman with a grudge. He said they were trying to ruin him. Some people nodded. Some people looked uncertain. Rosa felt her heart pound. She stepped forward.
I have proof.
She pulled the quilt square from her pocket. She unfolded it. She held it up. She showed the note stitched inside. She read it aloud. The note was from a miner. He said he had paid Whitmore for medicine. He said Whitmore never delivered it. He said his daughter died. The room gasped. Whitmore's face changed. He looked angry. He took a step forward. Whitmore said the note was a forgery. He said Rosa made it up. He said she was lying. Clay moved between them. He faced Whitmore.
The supplier confirmed the order. The ledger shows the money. The note is real. You are finished.
Whitmore's hand moved to his coat. Clay saw it. He grabbed Whitmore's wrist. Whitmore struggled. Clay twisted his arm. Whitmore shouted. 2 miners stepped forward. They grabbed Whitmore. They held him. The mayor stood. The mayor said Whitmore would be held until the marshal arrived. He said the evidence would be sent to the territorial court. He said justice would be done. The crowd murmured. Some people looked relieved. Some people looked angry. Whitmore was taken away. The meeting ended. People filed out. Rosa stood still. She felt shaky. Clay put his arm around her.
It is over.
Rosa nodded. She leaned against him. They walked outside. The sun was setting. The sky was orange and pink. They walked to the edge of town. They sat on a bench near the blacksmith shop. Rosa took a deep breath.
I thought he would pull a gun.
So did I.
Rosa looked at him.
You stopped him.
We stopped him.
Rosa smiled. Clay smiled back. They sat in silence. The town was quiet. The crisis was over. That night, Rosa could not stop thinking. She lay in bed. She stared at the ceiling. She thought about the past weeks. She thought about Clay. She thought about the bargain. She thought about what it meant. She had agreed to marry him. She had done it to save her father. But now her father was safe. Whitmore was gone. The debt was cleared. She did not have to marry Clay. She could leave. She could buy her ticket. She could go east. She could start over. But she did not want to. She wanted to stay. She wanted to be with Clay. She loved him. She had tried not to. She had tried to keep her heart safe. But it had not worked. She loved him. She did not know if he loved her. He had been kind. He had protected her. He had kissed her. But he had never said the words. Maybe he still saw it as a bargain. Maybe he felt obligated. Maybe he did not love her. Rosa closed her eyes. She felt tears on her cheeks. She wiped them away. She would ask him tomorrow. She would tell him the truth. She would give him a choice. If he wanted to end the bargain, she would let him. If he wanted her to stay, she would stay. But she would not live in doubt. The next morning, Rosa dressed carefully. She wore her best dress. It was blue. It had lace at the collar. She pinned her hair. She looked in the mirror. She took a deep breath. She went downstairs. Clay was waiting. He stood when he saw her. He looked surprised.
You look beautiful.
Rosa felt her cheeks warm.
Thank you.
Are you going somewhere?
I need to talk to you.
Clay nodded. They walked outside. They walked to the edge of town. They walked to the creek. The water was low. The stones were dry. They stood on the bank. Rosa turned to face him.
The bargain is over.
Clay looked at her. He did not speak.
Whitmore is gone. My father is safe. You kept your promise. I am releasing you from the bargain.
Clay's jaw tightened.
You want to leave.
Rosa shook her head.
I want you to choose. If you want me to stay, I will stay. If you want me to go, I will go. But I will not stay because of a bargain. I will not stay because you feel obligated.
Clay took a step closer.
What do you want?
Rosa felt her heart race.
I want to stay. I want to be with you. I love you.
The words hung in the air. Clay stared at her. His eyes were wide. Rosa held her breath. Then Clay smiled. He laughed. He pulled her into his arms.
I love you. I have loved you since the first day. I did not want a bargain. I wanted you.
Rosa felt tears on her cheeks. She laughed. She kissed him. Clay kissed her back. He held her tight. The creek flowed past. The sun was warm. They stood together for a long time. They walked back to town hand in hand. People saw them. People smiled. Word spread quickly. Rosa Fletcher and Clay Hendricks were in love. They were getting married. The wedding would be soon. Rosa felt lighter than she had in years. She felt free. She felt happy. Clay took her to the general store. He bought her a ring. It was simple. It was silver. It had a small stone. Rosa loved it. He slipped it on her finger. She kissed him. The storekeeper congratulated them. They walked to the boarding house. Mrs. Calloway cried when she heard the news. She hugged Rosa. She hugged Clay. She said she would make the wedding cake. Rosa thanked her. Clay said they would marry in 2 weeks. That would give time for people to prepare. Rosa agreed. She wrote a letter to her father. She told him about Clay. She told him about the wedding. She told him she was happy. She sent the letter that afternoon. The next 2 weeks passed quickly. Rosa taught her students. Clay worked. He took jobs around town. He fixed fences. He helped at the livery. He saved money. In the evenings, he and Rosa walked. They talked about the future. They talked about where they would live. Clay said he had land. It was 20 miles south. It was good land. There was water. There was grass. He wanted to build a house. He wanted to raise horses. Rosa said she would help. She said she could still teach. She could ride to town twice a week. Clay said he would build her a schoolroom in the house. Rosa loved the idea. They made plans. They dreamed together. The wedding day arrived. It was a Sunday. The sky was clear. The air was warm. The ceremony was held at the church. It was a small building. It had white walls. It had a wooden cross. Rosa wore her mother's dress. It was cream with lace. It fit perfectly. She carried wildflowers. Clay wore a new suit. It was dark. He wore a string tie. He looked handsome. The townspeople filled the church. Mrs. Calloway sat in the front row. She was crying. The mayor stood beside Clay as a witness. Rosa's father had not been able to come. The journey was too hard, but he had sent a letter. He had given his blessing. Rosa carried it in her pocket. The preacher stood at the front. He was an old man. He had a kind face. Clay and Rosa stood before him. He began the ceremony. He spoke about love. He spoke about commitment. He spoke about faith. Rosa barely heard him. She looked at Clay. He looked at her. He smiled. She smiled back. The preacher asked for the vows. Clay spoke first.
I promise to love you. I promise to protect you. I promise to be faithful. I will work hard. I will build you a home. I will make you happy.
Rosa felt tears in her eyes. She spoke next.
I promise to love you. I promise to stand beside you. I promise to be faithful. I will work hard. I will make a home with you. I will make you happy.
The preacher smiled. He pronounced them husband and wife. He told Clay to kiss his bride. Clay did. The church erupted in applause. Rosa laughed. Clay laughed. They walked down the aisle together. People threw rice. They climbed into a borrowed wagon. Clay took the reins. They drove out of town. People waved. Rosa waved back. They rode south. The sun was setting. The sky was orange and pink. They reached Clay's land as darkness fell. There was a small cabin. Clay had built it himself. It was simple. It had one room. It had a stone fireplace. It had a wooden bed. Rosa loved it. Clay carried her over the threshold. He set her down. He lit a lantern. The room glowed. Rosa looked around. She saw a table. She saw chairs. She saw a shelf with dishes. She saw a quilt on the bed. It was new. Clay had bought it in town. Rosa touched it. She looked at Clay.
It is perfect.
You are perfect.
He kissed her. She kissed him back. They stood together in the warm light. Outside, the stars came out. The land was quiet. The night was peaceful. Rosa felt complete. She had found her home. She had found her love. She was exactly where she belonged. The next morning, Rosa woke early. The cabin was dim. The fire had burned low. Clay was asleep beside her. Rosa lay still. She listened to him breathe. She felt grateful. She felt blessed. She slipped out of bed. She dressed quietly. She went outside. The sun was just rising. The sky was pink. The air was cool. Rosa walked to the creek. She knelt beside the water. She washed her face. She looked at the land. It was beautiful. It was vast. It was hers. She heard footsteps. She turned. Clay was walking toward her. He was dressed. He was smiling.
Good morning, wife.
Rosa smiled.
Good morning, husband.
Clay sat beside her. He put his arm around her. They watched the sun rise together. Rosa thought about Pine Hollow. She thought about the epidemic. She thought about Whitmore. She thought about the fear. It was over now. The town was healing. The people were recovering. Families were coming back. The mine was working again. There was hope. There was a future. Rosa had been part of that. She had helped. She had fought. She had made a difference. And she had found love. She looked at Clay. He looked at her.
What are you thinking?
I am thinking about how everything changed.
For the better?
For the better.
Clay kissed her. Rosa kissed him back. They stood. They walked back to the cabin. They had breakfast. They talked about the day. Clay would start building a corral. Rosa would plant a garden. They would work together. They would build a life. That afternoon, they worked side by side. Clay dug post holes. Rosa turned the soil. They talked while they worked. They laughed. They planned. The sun was warm. The sky was clear. By evening, they were tired. They went inside. Rosa cooked dinner. Clay sat at the table. He watched her. She felt his eyes on her. She smiled.
What?
I am just happy.
So am I.
They ate together. They cleaned up together. They sat by the fire. Clay played his harmonica. Rosa mended a shirt. The cabin was cozy. The night was quiet. Rosa felt at peace. She thought about her mother. She thought about her dreams of going east. She realized she did not need to go east. She had everything she needed right here. She had a home. She had a husband. She had a purpose. She was exactly where she was meant to be. Clay took both her hands in his. The water ran over the stones behind them. The town was quiet now. Most of the miners had left. The families that stayed were rebuilding. The air smelled clean.
I meant what I said that first day. I wanted you. Not the deal. Not the land. You.
Rosa felt the tears run down her face.
I was so afraid you would leave. I kept waiting for you to ride out and never come back.
I am not going anywhere. I promise you that.
She stepped closer. He wrapped his arms around her and held her tight. She rested her head against his chest and listened to his heartbeat.
I love you, Clay.
I love you too, Rosa. I have for a long time now.
They stood there as the sun set. The river flowed past them. The town was behind them. The future was ahead. They had fought together. They had survived together. Now they would build a life together. Clay kissed her forehead. Rosa smiled. The fear was gone. The danger was past. They were free. They were together. That was all that mattered.